So foreigner in Europe relates to a bad thing because you are not from here. You are from somewhere, from foreign. So looking at foreign investment regulation or looking at the term foreign invested company is something which Europeans don't like. So Europeans, they very much try to treat you as your own. And this is also the big advantage of Europe. So Europe, as we've seen and as we have mentioned many times, consists of many different nations. The European Union, of course, there is no European, as if we would say there's an American. But there is a European history. There's a European sense. There's a European culture. There's a European identity. And what is this? What is the specifics of this? The specifics of this is integration. So if as a Chinese company you come to Europe, you are not considered something alien or foreign. And it should be your best interest to do everything to work along that line, to make sure that people and everybody believes you are a part of it. You are not an outsider. You are not a Chinese investor. But you are part of the European community. You want to live there. You want to work there. You want to make money. You want to expand. But at the same time, you contribute to the European development. So it's a good thing. So this is looking at Europe again with a very strong sense of not considering you something alien or foreign, provides a very good platform for Chinese enterprises to get into the market. And of course, besides that, if you go to Europe, you need well-educated people. You need a good understanding of sustainability issues. You need an environment where you can grow, where you can develop. You need an environment that also helps you. So I always, whenever I talk to my son, and we talk about school, his studies, I say, son, how do you do? He says, well, it's great. I say, what do you mean? You say it's great. I say, well, it's good, it's good. So I say, you don't have to have your ceiling here, where it's very easy to get over. You always have to lay it higher and higher. You want to achieve more than the others. So this is the good thing in Europe. For Chinese companies coming back again and looking at China, China needs development. China needs improvement. China needs good technology. China needs a good understanding of the environment. China needs good education. China needs to take care of all the challenges which are here. And they only can be managed if there is a focus on harmonious development, on a good scientific approach to development, and this requires help. So as I've said before, the global development depends on China and interacts with China, while at the same time Chinese development cannot do without foreign development. So here again it's a good chance for Chinese enterprises going there to learn, to improve, to exchange, to promote China. And this is where you find a very good basis in Europe and a very good environment in Europe. Now, not everything is rosy, as I've said. There's always advantages and disadvantages. So when we look at Europe now from a company standpoint, or from the standpoint of an overseas investor, you see that in Europe, you don't have an overall unified investment process. Of course, we have seen before that a lot has been improved. You know, improvement levels on national stage are very good. But yet again, it is Europe. But yet again, you don't have one country in Europe, but you have many countries in Europe. And this will not change. So Europe will not be one country in that broader sense. Europe will maintain to be made up of single countries with their own identity, their own language, their own culture, and so on. So don't expect it's just one country. No. And since it is like this, with that very high degree of autonomy and of national identity, you have the situation that you will have, quite for some time, differences when it comes, for example, to improvement processes and other processes. This is it. Now, approval processes, especially on a local level, are more common. So the European Union, of course, have a lot of unification systems and unification standards. But again, as I've said, you have independent nations with their own identity and with their own legal environment. Of course, basically, it should fit the whole picture. Basically, we should have unified processes in Europe to make life easier, to make investment easier, to make approvals easier and faster, move along people, move along goods, move along financial resources and the like. But Europe, again, is different countries. And this will stay this way. So, over and over again, it will be quite difficult in some cases to find unifications, especially when it comes down to the local level. And the local level is meant the national level of different countries. This would be the first hurdle. And they will insist. And it depends. There might be a case that, looking at the European development, nobody knows, but in case the European currency might face problems in the future and might not really being that stable, or the market dynamics might not really be very favorable to the strength and the health of the European currency, who knows? There might be changes in the European market landscape. There might even be the possibility that some countries drop out of the European currency union. Who knows? I don't know. But there might be a possibility. So what do you do then? So this is why you cannot just unify everything. The idea of Europe and the idea of the European Union was that you need to find something in common. All different countries in Europe would need to maintain their independency and their own identity. But in order to get somewhere with the European Union, there needed to be some kind of something that is common everywhere. And this was, of course, the idea of the single European currency. But if markets in Europe, some markets in Europe, can't get the economy going in a healthy way, sometimes you're just left with the possibility to devaluate, for example. But this means that you can only devaluate if you don't have the common currency. So this is basically a risk, and it is a risk for overseas investors to consider. So coming down to the local level, the autonomy is very high. So the lower you get, or the more you go down to local levels,